Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be on the replica Apple MagSafe chargers. So this is the first one that I actually received from AliExpress. This was a early on purchase, so this was back when basically the products had just been announced, so a lot of the sort of sellers on AliExpress were probably clamoring to try and get their products out. Unlike some of the other products, the Apple Watch bands and the iPhone cases, generally these, looking at this one, look like they're going to be a much higher quality. So first thing to note is that it is actual real leather. You do get the smell of real leather. And also if you look around the case, obviously we don't have the Apple logo on this particular one, and that's something that is a little difficult to try and get your head around when you're buying from AliExpress, because a lot of these sellers, because of listings and everything like that, they blank out the Apple logo, so you don't always know whether it's blanked out because they're literally just hiding it so they're not getting flagged as selling a replica, or whether it just, as with this one, it just doesn't have the Apple logo. Now there are a lot of third-party sellers as well that have basically come out with exactly the same thing. So this particular case or wallet that I've actually received is probably very similar, and I have already checked on Amazon. This one, I can't remember the exact price, I think it was around £6 something back when I purchased it. I'll put on screen the actual listing, but I've seen them on Amazon, basically looks identical to this for around £16. Once again, obviously the difference between this and those ones is you're paying for local shipping, so you'll get those a lot quicker. So just having a quick look around the case in terms of details, firstly, as I say, very soft leather on the outside. The inside one pretty much is the same material, and then if we just take a look, you can see the sort of the felt-like material that you get on real leather essentially. Stitching wise, no complaints with this particular product. I know I've had a bit of a bad run in terms of items I've received from AliExpress recently. Now this was the blue case, and I do have quite a few other ones ordered, so I've ordered quite a few that are meant to be one-for-one replicas. Now the biggest thing about this particular one, and I will show it on the phone in just a second, basically I just wanted to get all the product shots with my 12 Pro Max just to give it as clear a picture as possible. Now the biggest issue that I've actually found is, as you can see, so the ring of magnets is literally, the ones that I can make out is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and possibly that's 6, but I'm not 100% sure if that one is actually a magnet or not. So basically you've only got 6 and you don't have anything down here. So essentially when you actually put it near the phone, yes, it does clamp on, but it doesn't actually align in the same way that I've seen the genuine item actually clasp on and auto fix itself. Obviously because of the magnets you can always put it on crooked, but then essentially once it moves around, it's meant to then fix into the correct position. Whereas with this one, as I'll show you in a little while, it doesn't, basically the alignment up and down, left and right, and also the orientation spinning round, it's not brilliant. In terms of cards, the one thing that a lot of videos in terms of the genuine MagSafe wallet have failed to pick up on is, yes, leather will stretch, and everybody comments about, oh, I wouldn't put more than 3 in there. I've tested this with 2, and the difference between this and the genuine item is the genuine item at the bottom here will have a little clasp, similar to most thin style wallets on the market, where they have a clasp at the bottom. So it doesn't matter whether you put 1 card in or 3, essentially it's fitting into a similar thing as this. So it's going in and then it's clasping down. So over time you do expect the leather to patina and stretch. I do actually like a patina leathered look, so that's obviously not an issue for me. But the leather will stretch, but that doesn't mean on the genuine items that your cards actually fall out. On the genuine ones, basically because it's being held at the bottom, the leather might stretch, but the card is actually being held slightly independently. Obviously this one doesn't have that. For the most part, everything that I can see in terms of how it operates and everything, it is a little awkward with this one, sliding it out. So obviously what I recommend is, if you have the card with the embossed numbers, put one of those facing this way, and then you can literally just flick up on the actual card itself to actually get it out. So what I'll do now is I'll switch phones and I'll show you what this is like on my 12 Pro Max. Okay, so now we have it switched onto a different camera. So what we can do is basically just illustrate what it's like when you're actually connecting this on. So just about there, I can start to feel some of the magnets kick in. Now if I just throw it on, as you see, that is actually on, and it is actually slightly grippy, but obviously the alignment part is the bit that doesn't really work on this. So there is fully clasped on. It doesn't really have any type of, it doesn't have the bottom one, so it doesn't align at the bottom correctly. So this one will slide about. Now unfortunately I don't have any MagSafe silicone cases just yet. I do have some ordered, so as soon as they come through, obviously I can then test it with the silicone, because most people who've even tested the genuine item have obviously commented, as you would expect, that on the phone itself it might be a little slippery. However, once you put it on a silicone case, because of the natural grip of those cases, it's actually a lot more resilient. Now, one thing that a lot of people did comment on is the fact that it actually makes the phone a lot more comfortable to hold, and that seemed kind of strange to me when people first started saying it, but it does actually make sense now that I've got it on, because what actually happens is it gives you a little bit, obviously the back of the 12 Pros, because of this matte, well, the frosted finish, it's actually a lot more slippery compared to shiny materials. So what this does do, it does give you a bit more grip essentially. And as I say, if you did have a couple of cards in there, it will fill it out and obviously fit in your hand quite nicely. I've actually found with this on, when I was just playing about with it, I can actually shuffle the phone around in my fingers a lot easier with the wallet in place. Now personally, I don't actually use wallets. I don't carry any cards. In fact, I don't even I've not carried cash in years. So I have Apple Pay set up on the phone. Whenever I go anywhere where I need to pay, I'll always just use Apple Pay. And if I need to, then I'll carry a card, but at most I'll carry maybe 2 cards. Here in the UK we don't really have crazy rules in terms of carrying ID and stuff like that, so for that reason basically I just don't have any need for it. I wouldn't really put my work passes and everything in here because you have to scan them at the clock machine, so that's not really something that basically I need to do. This was merely just to actually test it out, see what it's like, and obviously give other people my opinion in terms of whether this is a worthwhile product or not. For the price of this one, I'd say it's okay. It's not brilliant. Obviously I've got quite a lot more ordered that are supposedly closer to the genuine item, so once they arrive I'll do follow-up videos with those. So obviously if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, that way you won't miss out on any videos. I do also have a couple of videos coming on Apple Watch bands, as well as some of the MagSafe, both the leather cases as well as the silicone cases as well. So as I say, just hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, that way you don't miss out on those. But in terms of this particular product, what I would say is for this particular listing, this is mainly just for somebody who's basically not too fussed about having it look like the genuine item. It's a reasonable enough wallet. Obviously it does stick on, but if you are a little OCD in terms of having that bottom alignment, the extra little magnet at the bottom to actually align it correctly, then what I'd probably do is wait for some of my other videos. Once those particular products actually come, then obviously I'll do a follow-up with those. But for this one, as I say, all the details will be in the description below, and obviously I'll have the on-screen listing as well, just so then you can see in terms of which one I purchased. The listings don't always stay there, so what I'll try and do is give you the details in terms of the seller's shop for this particular one, and then for any future ones, similar thing. Rather than giving the actual listing, sometimes it's easier to actually give the shop name, because they tend to stick around a bit longer, whereas the actual listings themselves tend to disappear quite quickly.